The unknown intelligence on the ranch seemingly withdrew or went underground during the latter stages of the NIDS investigation. Its manifestations became less frequent and less obvious, but on occasion it would remind the locals that it was still around. Dr. Colm Kelleher located the exact spot where the entity scratched out its autograph in the form of a perfectly carved ice circle. The odd creation was discovered by the caretaker of the ranch during his early morning rounds, a geometric figure etched into the thin ice of an irrigation canal.
7 o'clock in the morning, he was taking a walk along the canal here when he stopped and saw a perfectly etched 5'9" diameter circle in the water here. By late afternoon it would melt. It looked like an ice skater had just cut it out. The groove itself was probably a 1/4 of an inch thick, and there was scrapings of ice from all around the edge of the circle.
Ice circles are rare but not entirely unknown. Larger specimens have appeared elsewhere in the world, and scientists think there is one natural mechanism to explain their creation. When conditions are just right, circles can be formed by the counterclockwise flow of water. There are also a few instances in Russia and other countries where eyewitnesses say they saw disc-shaped craft land on the thick ice of frozen lakes or rivers, but neither of those explanations account for the circle found on the ranch, nor was it created by any known animal.
I mean, is there any natural explanation that you know of, any animal that does something like that?
No, not something that is that perfectly inscribed in terms of uniform 5'9" diameter. I can imagine an animal's claws scraping a kind of haphazard pattern on ice as they maybe walk across or they look for somewhere to drink from, but not this perfectly inscribed 5'9" diameter circle.
An investigator for NIDS was on the scene within an hour of the circle's discovery and took photos. He also examined the muddy soil around the circle to look for any prints. The only ones found belonged to cattle. In a subsequent report written by the NIDS scientists, it was reported the ice was 3/4 of an inch thick and the circle had been carved a 1/4 inch deep. If it had been carved just a little deeper, the ice would have collapsed and the circle would have been dissolved before it could be seen by the rancher. The ice was too thin to support the weight of a human, and there was no mark in the middle to indicate a tool had been used to draw the perfect circle. But the scientists concluded a tool was definitely used to do the carving. Some of the shavings were collected for chemical analysis. Readings were taken to detect magnetic anomalies or radiation.
We took ice samples from outside the circle, the actual etchings from that had made the circle, and we sent them to one of the better laboratories for analysis, and there was absolutely nothing unusual found.
The team also analyzed the flow of water in the irrigation ditch and concluded there is no way the circle was created by natural forces. Someone or something carved it and seemingly anticipated it would be noticed before the afternoon sun melted it away.
But it's not like Tanya Harding slipped in here in the evening and did a little ice skating, because that wouldn't have supported her.
That's right, 15 pounds of weight. By early afternoon, the ice had melted. It was a very thin layer of ice. It had totally melted and it was gone. You know, the other thing is that it was pretty obvious that it had happened the night before, because the ice melts every day in February. Case unsolved.
Investigators were unable to determine how the formation had been created, or more importantly, why. The mystery circle became the last definitive episode of the NIDS era, and it was interpreted by some on the team as a farewell taunt.